The Department of Justice in more than a dozen states are suing Apple for allegedly breaking antitrust law. Attorney General Merrick Garland accused the tech giant of maintaining a monopoly over the smartphone market. Prosecutors allege one of the world's most valuable companies is stifling competition to maximize its profits. In a statement, Apple said the lawsuit is, quote, wrong on the facts and the law. Our Scott MacFarlane is on Capitol Hill. And of course, Scott, before you got to the Hill, you were at the Justice Department when the Attorney General made this announcement. So why is DOJ filing suit now? And what does this mean for the average iPhone or Android user?
Nicole, this is an indisputably bold thing because the Department of Justice is not only challenging one of the most prominent names in American business, but one with which Americans are so familiar and to a degree viscerally connected through their phones. What the Department of Justice argued today at their press conference is that Apple employs techniques, they argue illegal ones, to lock in their customers and lock out the opposition by making it untenable, if not impossible, for other companies to create apps or create devices that work in sync with iPhones and Apple products. That Apple blocks that, and the Department of Justice is arguing this is unlawful under federal law. Now, Apple has made an argument back to this, Nicole, saying what the Department of Justice is doing is inappropriate, but also stifles their ability to create new innovations, new products for you. What the Department of Justice is seeking over the next few years is some type of settlement or victory in court that requires Apple to change its policies and potentially make things cheaper or more available for customers. But Nicole, in the room, I tell you, the Attorney General really leaned forward and leaned into one point. He says when the United States of America takes somebody on in court, the United States of America tends to win.
Very bold statement indeed. And of course, there has also been, as you know, a push from both sides of the aisle on Capitol Hill to regulate tech giants in recent years. How are they responding to this lawsuit?
Big tech has some big allies and big enemies on Capitol Hill, and they have since the advent of some of the technologies. You know, they do get some defense from some of those who have parochial interests, you know, employees who work for some of these companies, but they also have any number of critics who have urged the government to get more involved with setting rules and setting goalposts for these big tech companies. And you're seeing this now as they try to legislate over TikTok. But the Attorney General is saying this is something quite different, not a political matter, but a legal matter. Take a listen to more of what Merrick Garland said during his news conference today.
Apple has maintained monopoly power in the smartphone market, not simply by staying ahead of the competition on the merits, but by violating federal antitrust law. Consumers should not have to pay higher prices because companies break the law.
These things take years, though, Nicole. Federal antitrust suits can be measured in years, not months.
Yeah, so it could be a while, but one thing that will be moving at a lightning pace is this effort to pass a funding package before a partial government shutdown Friday. So let's take a listen to House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who addressed this a short time ago.
Under no circumstances can we tolerate a government shutdown, which will hurt the American people. We have a responsibility to make sure that the government is funded, and the 6 appropriations bills do so in a way that takes care of the health, the safety, the education, and the economic well-being of the American people.
So we saw this 1,000-page bill drop in the middle of the night. Now lawmakers have to vote on it before midnight Friday. Can they get it done in time?
This is becoming a pattern, isn't it, where these things happen at the last second, but also this unique, this novel political composition is formed, where you have a group of Republican leaders joined by an overwhelming number of Democrats, the minority party, in passing all these bills to keep the lights on, keep the government funded. We'll get the same opposition over the next 24 hours we've seen the last few times this happened. The House Freedom Caucus, the conservatives, will have a press conference tomorrow decrying the size of the bill and the process under which it's passing. There are some number of progressives who have concerns about how Republican leadership is championing cuts to law enforcement in these bills. Grants for local police departments. In the previous bill, cuts to the FBI or to the ATF. But this will move through the same trajectory towards almost certain passage, but with this very, unorthodox coalition behind it.
Yeah, and of course, after government funding is cleared, we know Congress is likely to turn to a national security supplemental, which has already cleared the Senate. The question is what the House is going to do with it. I know you spoke with a group of bipartisan lawmakers who are trying to force a House vote specifically on the issue of Ukraine aid. How confident are they that this could work?
Well, they're frustrated by how sluggish this is moving, Nicole, as you've seen as well as I have. Over the past few months, there's this coalition that wants money for Ukraine, wants it now, the White House included, saying money and munitions are running out. The money's needed immediately. But the process of getting this vote to the floor in the House has been sluggish, to be charitable. There's a group of 15 House Republicans and House Democrats who have one of these end-run discharge petitions, a parliamentary technique to force a vote on the floor. They're making the argument, Nicole, that theirs is the only realistic path to getting this passed, not because a strange technique is needed, because they think it's the only way to get something passed with 218 votes versus the supermajority of 290 that's been needed for everything else, government funding included. So they say theirs is the only ship that's going to sail. Take a listen to one of the 15, Congresswoman Jen Kiggans, a first-term Republican from Southeast Virginia.
And it's a source of frustration for me as a new member of Congress, as a person who ran to restore American strength and to provide that stability to prove to our friends that they need to trust us and our enemies that they need to fear us. It's the only mechanism I have right now. You know, I'm hopeful that our leadership is going to listen and that we will be able to vote on this issue because it's important to not just me, but a lot of our Republican conference.
House leaders have indicated they're going to move forward on Ukraine aid, but they're about to peace out of here for at least 2 weeks for spring break, which means the sluggishness will persist.
It also means we might peace out for 2 weeks and pick it back up after the holiday, where there will continue to be lots more to cover. Scott MacFarlane, thanks so much.